So these are the engine components that we're actually changing. We ended up getting a new water pump, new gasket, a new tensioner, and then a new timing belt because our old one, as you can see, ended up being cut short. So we're gonna grab all these out, make sure that they're the right ones, and then we're gonna start disassembling on that side. All right, so currently we are under the car because we need to get this pulley off, which is known as your harmonic balancer. And the reason we need to get it off is because we broke the timing belt. And we need to get behind this to get to the actual pulley that controls the timing of it. We first need to make sure that this is in top dead center, that way we don't have to retime it later. Over here you have this little notch, at least on this one, and you're gonna align it to that T, which that T means top dead center. So those are the two markings that you are looking for as far as the exterior part of it goes. For now, what I have to do is try and find a way to lock this in position. That way I'm able to get this bolt out. Okay, so this is how I think I'm gonna do it, by shoving a screwdriver in there, and then hopefully this is enough tension to be able to pop that off with an impact gun. But I'll let you guys know in about 2 seconds. It worked. Cool. And that's still at TEC. Yes! Got the harmonic balancer out. So now, the next thing after the harmonic balancer is there's a couple bolts holding on this cover, and that cover is what we need to get off. We might need to take off this support, but I'll let you guys know if that's actually the case. Okay, so we ended up getting that timing belt cover off. As you guys can see here, there's a couple bolts that you guys need to remember. This one right here has a washer, and this one up here in this corner is like the really long one. But yeah, so these are the normal bolts, and these are what we mean by the one with the washer. It's just a bigger washer. And then that really long skinny one is the one that goes on the top. But as you guys can see, my belt is, well, if you guys watched the last episode, it is messed up. You should not be able to do this to it. So we're probably gonna have to take out that bracket up there just to be able to put the new belt on. But while we're at it, we're also gonna get to that, which is the water pump. So we're gonna clean it up a little bit, and then we're gonna swap it out and record for you guys. Okay, so we managed to take out the bracket that was up there. After you take out the motor mount from here, there's a couple bolts. You got 2 bolts here, and then these 2 big ass bolts, and then this one you need to take out for power steering, and then there's one holding the bracket on. That way you have full access to everything in there. Kind of a pain. You do need to like lower and lift the engine a little bit, so you might need a second pair of hands. Water pump should only have 4 bolts on it. One being right up there, right below it there, and then one up there. But those 4 should come out pretty easily, and then the water pump should fall right out. That's one way to do it. So now with the actual water pump out of there, make sure to clean the area, but make sure to get all of this gunk out, because any of that residual like dirt and stuff can actually make it so that the water pump doesn't seal. So make sure you get all that. So we cleaned it up pretty decently. Everything else there is kind of just like staining, so there's not really, I can't get it off. So now what we're doing is there was a bracket that came with the old water pump that we're cleaning up to make it at least look nice. We're gonna install it on the new one, And then we're gonna put this back with the new gasket on there. So while we're working on that bracket, I'm gonna go ahead and take off this tensioner. The way it says to take it off is to loosen the bolt first, and then we're gonna get to that spring right under it with a Phillips head and pop it off. We're able to install a new one with ease. New tensioners in there. To actually tighten this, you can actually get a crowbar or a pry bar in there and get in between these two little spots and push the tensioner away. That way it's super loose. That way you can actually get the timing correct, and so you're able to actually get it where it needs to be. Just a quick little tip. That way, whenever the belt is on there, you loosen that bolt, it tightens to where it needs to be, and then retighten it and torque it. Okay, so we got everything set up. Tensioners pushed back, new water pumps in, hopefully that doesn't leak. We need to align the top camshaft, and that's about it. Okay, so we ended up getting the timing belt on there. Everything looks to be okay. What we're gonna do right now is actually turn the engine twice clockwise to make sure everything is in time, recheck the timing, and if everything looks right, then we're gonna tighten everything down. And then tomorrow we're gonna put the rockers and everything in here and put everything else back together. Let's get it. Okay, so we just did 2 revolutions, and that's basically just by putting the bolt back in down here, and you can actually see the marking in there matching up. We did 2 revolutions of that, made sure that it matched up with the marking up top, and it did, so everything is timed the way it's supposed to. So now we're gonna release the tension, take off this bolt, put the covers back on, put the motor mount back on, and then call it a day for today. So let's get on that. And just like that, we got everything back together. We got the motor mount on, the new timing belts on. We do need to tighten this camshaft bolt and the crankshaft bolt. Everything else is on, but still kind of really loose because we're waiting till we finish assembling this. That way we can do a once-over check on everything. That way we leave everything in perfect condition. The sun is setting, we're losing light. So we need to hurry up, pack everything up because it gets cold at night, and we'll leave this for another day. But we're so close to seeing this run again, it should just need at least one more day of good weather, but we'll see what it takes. So this is a little mechanics trick that I learned a while back. But basically, whenever you're tensioning any of your belts, especially on like older school style adjustments, the way you test for tension is by grabbing your longest piece, so that you have it from going from here to the alternator and back around. This side is longer than the other side. So what you're gonna do is grab your longest strand of belt, and you're gonna try and turn it as much as you possibly can. If you're able to go more than halfway, like I am here, see that I'm able to turn it 180 degrees almost? That's too loose. Your belt's gonna squeak and it might rip off. So I need to go up, tighten it a couple turns, and on the Mitsubishi, it's this bolt way back here. You're gonna grab it, tighten it a couple turns, and then recheck it. Grab it, and that's about as far as I can turn. It's still a little loose. You want it to basically be, it sticks at the 90-degree mark and you can't push it any further. Right now I can still turn it a little too much. So we're gonna go back up here, tighten it a little more. And then check again. That's pretty close the other way too, but that's just an old mechanics trick of how to tighten these up properly. Battery is now in. Let's see if this car starts. If you hear any loud bingity bangs, turn it off. Go again. So we got the car running. Everything looks to be in decent order. You guys probably saw it's idling pretty rough right now. We think it's due to two things. One of those being is this. It's an oil filter, or not an oil filter, an air filter that I've had on this car for 7 years, pretty gunked up, and it's the wrong size. So we're gonna get a new one of these ordered and shipped here. The other thing is we checked the codes on it to see what other codes it was throwing. The only other code that it's throwing right now is one for the catalytic converter bank to oxygen sensor. And the reason of that is whenever we changed the catalytic converter, since it was a temporary one, we never put a bung on it for that O2 sensor, so we never installed the O2 sensor. And we think now it's finally giving us issues. So we're gonna go home, weld that up, come back, reinstall it, hopefully with a new air filter, and everything should be fine. We ended up messing with a little bit of the idle time and the throttle cable, and it seemed to be a lot better, but still not perfect, still not where we want it. So we're gonna go do that, and we'll probably leave it there until next week for you guys, or I guess 2 weeks from now, because next week we have something amazing for you guys. But thank you guys for watching. If you guys like this type of content, please be sure to subscribe. It helps me out. We'll see you guys next time. Peace. Okay. I know this thing's already in my face, but we are so excited. We finally figured out what the fuck was wrong with it. Right now the car is straight pipe. We were having some really fucking rough idling issues. We were about to send it back to the mechanic, and all it came down to was we forgot to plug in one of the spark plug coils. But now the car is running amazing. It has more pep in its step than it's ever had in its entire life, and I'm so excited because the car is finally done. That means we did the job correctly, and we can go home with the car. Yeah! Damn, dude, I was pissed. Holy shit. Oh man, I feel so much better now that the car is working. We did it, guys, we did it. Easiest job of my life. Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.